This software finally allows you to see exactly what Claude code or whatever AI you're building with is actually building. A lot of the time when you're building with AI, it's very confusing. It will go ahead and it'll build things you don't really want it to build. You'll lose track of features, or even when you're starting out and you want to design an app, if you just go and tell AI to start building it, it will just start building random features and you don't really have that much control over what it's doing. So what I wanted to do in this video is just walk through what CodeSpring is, what all the buttons mean, and where you can find everything. And then we'll do more videos explaining how the whole thing works and how you can start using it to design specific tools. So first of all, we have the canvas. So this area here is just a place to visualize the app that you've built. And we'll get into details on how you can do that later on. But for example, if I come back to here on the left-hand side, you can see I can slide out this drawer. We have projects. So if I go into the project view, you can see I'm working on multiple different projects. So depending on what plan you are on inside CodeSpring, you can create multiple different projects, different apps that you're building. So for example, this one here is just an app that I actually imported from my GitHub. So if you have an app that you've been building and you are unsure of what the AI has built or how everything goes together, you can just come down here onto the right hand side. You can press this little chat icon and you can actually paste in a message just like this one here. So you can say, can you visualize this GitHub repo for me? Map all the features in this tech stack. And what it will do is it will actually map the entire thing out for you. So you can see here, AI B-roll maker is the app that I've built. So this is the canvas for visualization, and I'll walk through what you can kind of see in here as well. But before we do that, I'm just going to go through everything else. So we have integrations as well. So if you come to integrations, this allows you to connect various different software to CodeSpring. So for example, you can see I have Notion connected to my CodeSpring account, which means, for example, if I have information inside here for apps that I've started planning, or if there's ideas that I have for building apps, or if I've just stored a load of information in here, I can actually get this is the one. I can actually get CodeSpring to read that information and then use that information to help me build and design apps. Okay, and I'll make some more videos on how we can do that later. GitHub, again, this is a really important one. I can connect my GitHub account, which then allows me to actually visualize and pull in a specific GitHub and visualize the entire thing for me. Down here on the left, we then have courses, which is actually now going to be, this is kind of old. We're updating this and we're replacing this with the school community, which is called AI Agentic SaaS CodeSpring. So you can join this community. It's completely free to join. We have a whole load of courses on how to use AI for building, how to find a good idea, what are the tools that you need to build, best practices for starting your build, a whole load of stuff. Now, we're probably going to consolidate some of these courses because it's getting a little bit chaotic. But this is going to teach you how to use an AI to build and also how to use CodeSpring to build as well. What else do we have? So if we come back to CodeSpring, we have obviously a Discord community, which again, we're going to get rid of because we have school. Customer support. So if you ever have any issues with refunds, wanting a, not refund, we don't offer refunds on monthly subscriptions, but if you want to cancel your plan, you can go ahead and cancel your plan in here. So you can go ahead and open a ticket, and then we can review all the tickets. We usually get back to you within, I don't know, about 12 hours. What else do we have in here? Oh, you can also see your support tickets as well. So I can obviously submit a support ticket through here. I haven't actually got any tickets open, but you can actually do that. Billing an account, again, if you want to get any information on pricing, we have 3 different plans. We have a monthly plan for starter, £19 a month, pro for $49, and business for £99 per month. And then we have invites. So you can actually earn credits by inviting people. So if you invite somebody and they pay, then you'll get certain amount of credits, and that's basically everything that you have access to inside CodeSpring. But we also have, well, we have more things. So once you're inside the canvas, this is really where you'll spend most of your time. So again, I'll make more videos on what all of this actually means in the next video. But we have, so the canvas is a place for you to navigate around and figure out how does your app actually work, what are the features, and also dial and focus into specific features to update them and build them and improve them. So if I press Command K on my keyboard, or even Command S, there's various different keyboard shortcuts we have. So you can see down here on the bottom left, we have various different keyboard shortcuts which you can learn. It just makes it easier for you to navigate the mind map. But if I press Command K, I can actually search for specific features. So for example, if I search for URL, I've got, URL fetch and clean, for example. I can click on that and it'll take me to how that feature works. So essentially every app has features, okay? And in the center here, this is the name of the app that you're building. Everything comes off this. We then have the features. So the way that we organize features when we're designing inside CodeSpring is we just list out we call them parent features, but the top most important features. So for example, for this app here, which is an AI video maker app, we have a way for you to upload videos. We can break down like a storyboard. We can search for stock footage, various different features that we have inside our app. So if I come back into school and we look at what Stuart has actually created, that he shared with us. So he has listing templates, he has a CRM in his, photos and media manager, he has a listing dashboard and various other features. So those are sort of the top level features that you have. I'm just going to close all these other CodeSpring tabs. And then what you can do is you can actually have information and you can dial in on a specific feature. So what CodeSpring allows you to do is add designs and add features and add information on how to build a feature, right? So for example here, if we just look at the content input script or link, if we do Command K, content input, and we can click on this, it'll take us to this specific feature. So this thing here is called a bridge, or you can think of it as a folder, right? So everything that's attached to this is essentially additional information for this specific feature here. So you can see up here, these are sub-features. In other words, these are features that are contained within its parent feature. Okay, so for example, if you have a settings section in your app, a settings section would have multiple different features like account, payments and billing, and loads of other bits and pieces, right? These are all of the sub-features inside a certain feature. And then you can allow yourself to sort of edit and change these things. So again, this will make more sense when we start to design a build. But this just basically gives us more visibility in the actual features. And what we try to do at CodeSpring is make it so you can understand what the AI has built without it telling you technical jargon. It's converting it all into features. So for example, we have URL fetch and clean. Okay, and this is a feature where it'll fetch a web page and then it will do some other stuff with that. Okay. And what you can do again is I can do Command K and I can search URL fetch and clean, and you can see here we have a note attached to it. And this note is basically just a document that explains how the feature works. All of this, everything that you see here is customizable. So for example, it says, okay, this accepts website like HTTP links, it retrieves page content, strips the menus and sidebars, normalizes white space, and this is kind of like specific tasks that this feature is supposed to do. And then what you may have noticed is as you zoom out, we have lots of different notes for lots of different features. So for example, we have this feature here, content input, right? And then we have a note file for that whole feature. We also have note files for sub-features. And this is just a way of it's the same as if you were designing out anything inside a Notion document and you're writing down how all the features work. You're just now organizing that by feature, and you can see visually how that's organized. Then what we can do is we can actually do some more advanced things. So if we zoom in here to this little thing, we can actually add more information. Okay, so we've got notes. We could add a UI wireframe. Okay, and then we can click auto layout here and it'll just move everything around and keep it organized. So I'm now working on one specific feature. Okay, I'm working on input methods. And now it depends if the name of the feature doesn't matter too much here because you don't know what the app is that I'm looking at. But if I click edit wireframe, it opens a pop-up which allows me to draw shapes. Okay, so I could draw out a design of what I want my app to actually look like. So I could have, okay, this is like a sidebar for my app. I could put, text in, for example, and then you can start to draw out things like, actually, I'm going to have a box or something. I don't know. So you can wireframe out and you can sketch how you want a certain section of your app to look. So then we can save that. And then that means now you have information on what is the feature, how does the feature work, and what do you want it to look like. You can also do things like add a mood board. So if you have images of what you want that feature to look like, you can upload them here, and then all of this can be used by any AI that builds your app. So this is obviously specifically for if I'm designing a new, I don't know, if I'm designing an app from scratch. This is very, very useful for me. I'm just going to delete this now. So that's very important to realize. You can do all of these different things. You can go ahead. So I could, you can get very, very deep with this. So I have here, obviously this is a sub feature. I could add sub features to my sub feature, and then you can just manually add it. So you could say new feature, right? You want to give it a description, and here's kind of, what it does, just so you can remember what it is. And now what we have, right, we can actually right click on this and we can add a bridge, give it a name, and then we can actually add, if I zoom in here, notes on how this new feature works. Okay, so this new feature works by doing X, Y, Z, and then I can save that. And again, I can do Command S on my keyboard and save everything. So when we zoom out, okay, what's actually happening, if we just collapse everything, we can open this here. So you can see we have this app here that we're building. We then have 6 different features inside that app. And this feature here has got 8 different sub-features inside it. So when I'm using this feature, there are 8 other features that make this feature work. And then this feature here has 1 other feature that makes it work. And you can keep going as much as you want. I mean, it'd be a bit silly to go deeper than that, but this basically means you can have infinite customization on how you want a specific feature to work. And what I recommend is you do this and you build it very, very gradually by adding these things in, and just basically imagine it as a visual representation of folders and files. It's just a folder tree, okay, where the folders are features or groups of features, and then you can put files like notes inside there or mood boards inside there. So that's basically how it works, and then all of this information can then be connected to any AI that you want. So you can connect it directly into Codex. So if you can click this button here, you can connect it. Alternatively, you can connect down here, and you have the option to connect via MCP as well, which is our sort of legacy connection. So you can connect via CLI or MCP to any agent you want to, okay? And that agent has the ability to read and write. So for example, I can just come into Codex and I can just start a new chat, and I could say, can you read my plan inside CodeSpring? Can you tell me for the AI B-roll maker, GitHub visualization, can you just add a feature in there and just call it demo CLI, and then just add a note to it, which is just saying this is a demo. And now I can actually use any AI to either read my plan and then build from my plan, or to actually update and make changes in my plan for me. So we have actually got an AI in here, which you can talk to, which will actually make changes in the map for you. Or you can use something like Codex or Claude Code to actually talk to CodeSpring for you as well. So you can see here, Codex has found the specific project that we're actually working on. Now it's in the right project. It's going to add a demo feature for us. So you can very quickly start to design and add new features. I would say I would avoid doing this if you're not a little bit more advanced. If we come back into CodeSpring and we refresh, we can see here it's added a new feature for us. If we auto layout, it's called Demo CLI. This is a demo. Okay, so this basically means this AI here can make changes inside our plan. So for example, I could say we have a feature called input methods, and we have some stuff attached to it. Can you just go ahead and delete all the attachments? So we have input methods and we have loads of sub features and other things attached to it. Can you just delete those for me? I think we have the ability to delete through this. I haven't actually tested this yet. But this is just a way of you using AI to map out your build. The only thing I would say is be careful with that, because the whole reason you're using this is because you want to be able to see what the AI is doing. But the AI can very easily just go ahead and just add too much stuff. So you need to make sure that it's actually adding the correct amount of stuff. It's not just over adding things. So I'll do more videos on how to actually design an app and build new features. We have loads of new exciting features coming out. I haven't even touched on the fact we have something called Kanban, which essentially converts whatever it is you want and you have planned to build into tasks that the AI can then just build off and build from. We have documents, we even have scouts, which again is, I'm not even going to go into scouts in this video. So there's so much more that this can actually do. So if you want to grab a CodeSpring subscription, all you need to do is go to our website, codespring.app, okay, create an account on CodeSpring, and then it will ask you to upgrade. So it'll take you to the payment page. You have 3 different options: Starter, Pro, or Business. I recommend you obviously grab access to Starter because you're going to get more credits and you're going to get access to all of our features. Business, you're going to get access to a lot more credits. So if you're building small little projects, you definitely want to be on the Pro plan. If you're building big projects for your business, or if you're building it for clients, you're definitely going to be on the Business plan. So it's twice the price as a Pro plan. You get 5 times the amount of credits, and you can design unlimited projects, but you also have access to an organization workspace as well, so you can actually invite and work with different team members on the Business plan as well. So okay, so let's just go back in here because you can just see, and then I'll end the video. So you can see I deleted the cluster of all the things on that thing, so I just asked it just to clean up the mind map for us, and now you can see the stuff that we did have over here has now been cleaned up and deleted. So it's just essentially a way of you organizing and designing your builds and planning your builds with CodeSpring, and then everything that you design and build in here you can then use to go ahead and get an AI to build that app for you, or you can then import an idea into here, design new features into it, and then go ahead and get the AI to build from that. So think of it as a way of visualizing your entire build.